Alright, we're in PowerPoint Essentials, Lesson 3. We're going to focus on working with text this time. Our objectives are to learn to format characters and paragraphs, work with lists, insert and format word art, create and format text boxes, and use our proofing tools, which are all very important. The primary tab that we're going to be using today is going to be the Home tab, and we're going to focus on the groups of font and paragraph. Okay, so in Lesson 2 we use slides and clipboard a lot more, so now we're going to use font and paragraph. So what I have done so far is I have logged in to, I'm in PowerPoint, and I have chosen a template. Okay, with a template comes a theme. And the theme it includes the colors that are used within that template. It includes the fonts that are used with that template. So right now we're going to, and we're going to call it PPTX Lesson 3. All right, just so that we are all on the same page. And I'm going to just insert a new slide really quickly that has title and content. Alright, first of all, I want to show you, we'll give you a little bit of information about the different types of text we have. Okay, first we have, this would be a header or a title up here in this box, and then this down here is known as the body. It's the body text. So that's going to be anything that is contained in a content box that would be your bulleted or numbered lists. Any type of information that you would type down here would be a body text, and this would be heading. Okay, it is very important that you stay consistent as you are changing your fonts, that you don't switch. You don't say, oh, I really like this font here, but now over here I'm going to change this title to something else because I want to switch things up a bit. Well, that just gets confusing and it's not very professional. So we want to be sure that we are consistent throughout our text. While I'm talking about being consistent, I want to show you something really quickly. If we go to View and you go to Slide Master, alright, it shows you all of the different layouts that are available within this theme. Okay. And at the very top is known as your Slide Master. Now, if you notice right here, I have, if I were to highlight all of this, I would get my little mini toolbar, and I would find that I am on TW Century MT Condensed. Alright, that is for every header on every screen of this PowerPoint. Now, if I wanted to convey a more, more playful or more elegant, let's go with more elegant tone to my presentation, I might choose something like a, I don't know, Edwardian script. Okay, that's a little bit difficult to read, so I can always go back and change that to something else. I can't even really read that at all. So let's go back to Baskerville Old Face. All right, that's just one of my favorites. All right, so if you'll notice that everything over here, every title box, every header has it has changed to that font. Okay, but if you notice this, my body text stayed the same. So I may want a slightly different body text, but something in the same family. So let's, this is very similar but not quite as thick, so let's click on that. And it'll change my body text on every slide. So we'll get more in-depth into master slides later, but I did want to introduce that quickly. Okay, now you'll notice that what I did on my slide master is now on this screen as well. So if I were going to preview, all right, and my type 1, I was going to say formatting text, and then maybe my type 2, my second point would be font types. All right, and maybe my third one would be font colors. Okay. And these two, I want to demote them because they are going to fall under formatting text. That was something we covered in lesson 2. So I simply highlighted them and pressed tab, and that demoted them to not quite such a heading. Okay. Now, say I go down here and I decide that I want to add alignment, and I change my font. Maybe I change it by mistake. Okay. And I don't really like it. But I'm going through and I'm saying align text. Text duration, something like that. Okay, now I'm also going to demote those two things. Well, I don't like this font at all, and so I need an easy way to change that font. If I go back up to this one, because I really, really liked it, I have access to something called a format painter, and that is really easy to notice because it looks like a paintbrush. All right, it is located on my mini toolbar, and it's also located up here in my home tab on my clipboard group. So if I were to highlight all of this and click on my format painter one time, I can highlight alignment and it magically changes it to match this here. Okay, but now I can't do that again down here. An easy way to make it do it more than once would be to double click my format painter, and then I can click more than one word. I can click every word and change that font. So the format painter is really a magical little tool that is very fun to use. All right. So what if I wanted to, now I'm finished with the format painter, I can click on format painter and it goes away. All right, if I wanted to change my font color, okay, now I can use my mini toolbar right here, or I could go up here to my font group and change it here. But I want to stay. If you notice, it shows me up here, these are all my theme colors that I can use. And as I scroll over them, it changes my color, all right? But maybe I want to do something really funky. I want this really to stand out from my theme. So I could choose any of these standard colors down here, okay? All right, maybe I want to make it red or yellow. All right, I can even do more than that. I can choose different shades here if I go with standard. These are my standard colors, and I can change my shades. But I can even get more funky than that. If I click on custom right here, say I like this kind of fuchsia color, but I really wish that it were a little lighter. I can click on my slide button right here, and I can move it up. And if you'll notice down in the bottom right hand corner of my dialog box, see that color is getting lighter and lighter. Okay, I can make it darker and darker all the way to a black, or I can just move it slightly and change it a little. Okay, so say I like it right there, I click OK. So it changed my font color. So that's something that is easy to change. Now, okay. Another thing I just did is, if you notice, I've gotten this little red wavy line under here. I can right click on the word and it will show me different ways of spelling it, which it was not misspelled, so I'm not sure why it did that, but that's how you get rid of a red box. All right, let me show you really quickly about alignment. Okay, within this text box, I'm going to go over here to my paragraph group. Now, my text alignment, I can move this. If you'll watch, I want you to watch down here as I change these. This moved it to the middle. This moves it to the bottom of that text box. Okay. I can also, if my text box is not large enough, I can pull my text box out, extend them past my margins. Okay. If necessary. All right. Now, moving right along from my colors in my alignment. If I wanted, I'm going to add a new slide. And if I were going to do an acrostic of some sort, for some reason I needed to change the direction of this text. Back on my home screen, I can click on Align Text, text direction, and I can rotate my text. If you notice, it hopped over to the right hand side and turned itself sideways. I can move it to the left side of my text box, or I may stack it up. This could be used for effect. If I were doing some sort of acrostic, if I were spelling out M stands for money and something, this would be a good way to handle that. So I think that is pretty much covered that part. One other thing I wanted to mention before I move on is the insertion of word art. Now, this is something that is pretty cool, and it is useful throughout any Office product. Is word art. I went to the Insert tab and I clicked on the slightly skewed A, and I get word art. Now, see, I inserted it here and it gave me my word that I have. Now, I can move this box. If I get my little crosshairs, I can move it anywhere I wish, or I can make it bigger if I wish. I can also highlight this, and I can change these fonts just like I can any other font. I can make it larger, smaller, move it on up. I can change the color of it here. Okay. You see how none of this fits. So if I need it to fit, I can click here, and I can click my corner and drag it out to make it fit. Okay. So word art is pretty nifty, but it's one of those things that you want to use sparingly. If you put too much salt in a recipe, it makes it nasty. So this is kind of the salt on your entree here. You put just a very few word art for emphasis. See, marketing stands out, but if I put Mrs. Nixon's 2016 marketing class, that would get a little redundant. If I put this on every slide, that would be redundant. It would get boring. So that's just a little splash of color to be added here and there for effect. So from here on, we will do the step-by-step exercises together. We will take our little quiz that we usually take for each lesson, and we will finish our 6 projects for this lesson. Thanks for listening.